Welcome to Strolo University. Strolo U was created at the start of the COVID pandemic as a way to offer both physical and mental activities and classes to help benefit the cystic fibrosis community. We are back this fall with 3-week semester with brand new classes incorporating more educational and informative classes to the mix. The CFLF would like to thank all of the individual supporters and the Strolo U instructors for their participation in making Strolo University a positive resource and experience for people with CF. We hope you enjoyed today's class. Please keep checking our website, cflf.org/StroloU, and or our Facebook page with more classes and updates. My name is Annette, and today for our self-care class, we're going to be doing some DIY body scrubs. And just to start, if you are able, I'm going to give you the materials you'll need for today. So you will need a spoon for mixing, a mixing bowl or some type of container to mix your materials in, a carrier oil, which can be coconut oil, jojoba oil, grapeseed, almond oil, or olive oil if you have. You will need a resealable container to store your scrub once we're done. And if you like, you can bring along some essential oils, but that's optional, it's not required. So I'm gonna just give you guys a few minutes while I get everything together to show you, and you can prepare yourself as well at home. So I have a sea salt, a brown sugar, fine is best. I have olive oil here, coconut oil, grapeseed oil, my resealable container, your mixing containers. I do have a few essential oils, and I will talk about those momentarily. Spoons. And our measuring cups. So just a little bit of, just adjust this camera. Just a side note, of course you want to make sure that all your containers and your wares are very clean, because we don't want to have bacteria building in the containers once we store, or if we start to mix and something gets mixed and give your skin a bad reaction. Let's give you a few more minutes. It's gonna pop a timer on in a second. Okay, while the timer is counting down, I will talk about the essential oil. If you should have any, please make sure they are food grade or therapeutic grade. You don't want the kind that would just be for aromatherapy, because they may not be good for skin contact, or because it's a scrub, depending on where you use it, you don't want to get it in your eye, in your mouth. Now, when I make any type of DIY in the kitchen products, I always wonder or think about, could I possibly eat this? So I want to make sure everything is, edible and is not going to give me any bad reactions when it comes to either what you're eating, your medication, which you may be going through at any point in time. Oh, that's our timer. Yeah, so me particularly, I'm not married to any particular brands, but I really do love doTERRA. Not advertising or anything. I just love their product. It's pure. For the most part, most of their oils are food grade. So I don't have to worry about if my daughter gets into my scrubs or anything I'm making, you know, I know she'll be okay. She'll be safe because it's food grade. So just a little, I guess, you know, common info. I mean, on body scrubs, scrub the body. You want to, every once in a while, kind of do this routine. Not just for your self-care and mental health, because it'll make your skin feel amazing. Every once in a while, whether you're even using just like a loofah, a rough sponge, or something of that nature, even a rough washcloth, you want to give your body and your skin a little scrub to get off dead skin cells, kind of renew and refreshen. So it's always a good idea to do a body scrub. I want to say at least once a month, maybe once a week, depending on the type. But it's a really good way to self-love, of course, and renew some skin cells, get the old dead ones out, let some new ones come in. So particularly for the actual scrub, I like to use either a fine brown sugar or sea salt. Now this brown sugar is actually a little coarse, so I would maybe run it in a blender. And with, of course, if you've seen other videos I've done, if you run something in a blender, you have the option of making it as fine as you like to your specification. So it's you know, not a bad thing if you do have a coarser sugar, but you definitely want to go with the brown. It's much smoother. However, if you do make a brown sugar scrub, of course it's sugar, so it's going to be sticky. So this will be a scrub that you'd have to make sure that you thoroughly wash off. Whereas with the sea salt, a good rinse would be enough. And with sea salt, it has antibacterial properties, and it'll be better at staying preserved because it's salt. So that's something to also think about. Also, with when it comes to sugar, I have found that different brands, depending on the ratio of molasses, if you are sensitive to that, do be mindful to, you know, test on, you know, an inconspicuous area first to see if you have any rashes or breakouts after you make your scrub. And if anyone missed it earlier, while you were getting your materials, I had mentioned making sure that all your containers and your utensils are clean, because you don't want to have any bacterial buildup or anything in your scrub. So, for your oils, all the oils, depending on what you want to use, they all have different properties. But what I find most important, of course, is how your body reacts to the oil. Now, olive oil is very moisturizing. Of course, if you have oily skin, you may not want to use olive oil. Grapeseed oil actually breaks out my skin, but it's great for cooking. So I tend not to use it. And it is very thin as well. So if you want something a little looser than like a pasty scrub, you may go with the grapeseed oil. The coconut oil can go both ways, because you do have to kind of warm it a little to thin it out before you use it, which is why I also have a little teapot back here, which I'm going to turn on in a second. It's kind of loud. And I'm going to melt a little bit of coconut oil. But I find it gives me the least amount of problems when it comes to my skin. It's just as moisturizing as well. I end up using a lot less. And again, because it solidifies a bit when it gets cool, I can have a thick pasty scrub, or I can have a watery one, depending on. And again, depending on how your body reacts to it. My daughter's skin does not react well to coconut oil, so I couldn't use this for hers. So for all the ratios, it's a half cup. So you're gonna be doing a half cup of your scrub, either the salt or the brown sugar, and a half cup of your oil. Because I'm just doing a demo, I'm gonna do a smaller amount, but it should be equal, 50-50. I'm gonna turn on that teapot now. take a scoop of the coconut oil. Once that's ready, I'm just gonna melt it. While that's heating up, I will give you a little bit about the oil that I picked today. I may not use them all, but they all have different properties. For me, the ylang ylang, if you look it up, you can see a lot of the aromatic properties that it has. And to me, it's great for just relaxation and mood. I'm sorry, guys. Technical difficulties, bear with me. Get your phone paused. Okay, there you go. I may have to switch down a little bit, but that's okay, I'm sure. Okay, where was I? Okay, I also pulled thyme. This particular brand, like I said, very pure. A drop goes a very long way. For me, lots of ailments. As most may know, thyme also has some antibacterial properties and anti-inflammatory properties as well, but it's very strong. So if I did do a scrub with this, which I won't today, it would definitely be more of like a massage type of scrub in specific areas so that I'm inhaling some of this oil so that it helps to break up mucus. So that may be like along the neck area, possibly the chest, but of course that would be with a very, very fine sugar. Maybe salt, but salt, of course, just like the sugar, you don't want very coarse granules because that's going to be very abrasive on your skin and it's going to cause you a lot of irritation. We'll let that melt. There we go. Just melting the coconut oil. So I'm adding my coconut oil to my mixing cup, mostly melted. Paper towel to dry that off. Then I'll get right back to the oils. I'm going to use my sea salt. Same amount of sea salt that I did as oil. And I'm going to mix. Now, the canvas almost looks like baking soda. But once this gets to room temperature, it's going to be a bit more solid. You can always add more oil or salt if you wish. Sometimes, depending on where I'm planning to use my scrub, I adjust the ratios. For example, I have rough feet, so I tend to maybe even use a coarser salt when I'm making a foot scrub, and definitely less oil. That a good stir. I'm gonna leave that. So. Talk about the other oils that I picked today. Sandalwood, which is another great one for mood. The aroma is like kind of, I don't really know how to explain the sandalwood smell, but it's a very pleasant smell and it's very relaxing as well. And aromatherapy is part of, self-care because you want to build your atmosphere while you're self-loving, rubbing and getting those dead skin cells off. How is everyone doing with your scrubs? Rima? Tiffany?
Hi. Yeah, I don't have the supplies for it, so I'm just watching.
You have any questions so far?
No questions yet. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm definitely learning a lot. I didn't think to use like thyme and the sandalwood, but definitely the thyme. I now have to go and get that.
Like I said, a little goes a long way. Literally a drop. It's extremely strong. I'm gonna put a little lemon.
Yeah, and it's so cool to learn about other types of like essential oils to put in it, because I always stick to, the usual, the lavender, the peppermint. So hearing like using the other stuff, awesome.
Those are great. I mean, of course, lavender is one of my favorites, and you, the one who was like mixing it with peppermint, excuse me. When you said that to me and I started doing it, I was like, because I never used to kind of put those two together in a bath. And oh yeah, super like, really opens me up, opens up the airways, and it relaxes at the same time. I will do a scrub with that as well. I like to really enjoy when I'm doing a scrub that has essential oils that are more aromatic. I want to make sure the scrub is something I'm going to use closer to my face rather than just my hands or my feet. I mean, you can do just your hands as well and just go like this all day. Because I do that too. I have an orange oil scrub. After I wash my hands, I just want to for a while, because it's just, you don't really get to enjoy it as much when it's just like your regular hand wash and you kind of just, go about your day. So that's also a nice kind of break away from whatever you're doing for just a moment, just to take that. And it could also be a great thing if you are a type of person that might get anxiety or have panic attacks. You may want to just have something like that, even without the scrubs, the sugar and the salt. You may want to just have an oil using one of the carrier oils and then an essential oil that you can just put in your hands, and at any point just have like a small container, maybe something like this, where you can just shake a couple drops out, have it in your pocket, and just, on the train while you're going about your day. And of course, you want to be mindful of what you're using, making sure your hands are clean before you touch your face, making sure you are in a safe space before you pull down your mask if you're outside, of course. Yeah, making scrubs at home is super, super easy, and you don't have to feel like you need to make a huge amount. Average recipes are about a half cup, like I was saying earlier, but you can easily kind of make this right before you go into your bath routine and just make enough just for whatever you're doing. Or you make a big amount and just have it on hand in the bathroom. Sugar and salt themselves are preservatives, so there's no need to refrigerate. You can kind of have it in the medicine cabinet and just pull it out when you need to. As long as, like I was saying earlier, you using clean hands, clean spoon when you go to use it. You don't get any germs or bacteria in there. You're kind of always ready. You always have it. When it comes to containers, I keep all my containers just about. This was a jelly jar, actually. You can sterilize them at home. Big pot of boiling water, you let it sit in there. Depending on the type of material, I would suggest double checking the amount of time that it should stay in that boiling water before you take it out and allow it to air dry. So you can always get a mason jar, which seals as well. Those two have specific amounts of time depending on that inner seal, the material is made of, whether it be rubber or something else. You have the silicone type, you know, tons. You can even find them in places like Dollar Tree. You can get a small mason jar. Does anyone have any questions?
No, you're doing great. I love this class because I'm always the one spending like all the money on, you know, the sugar scrubs and the salt scrubs. So it's good to like have some recipes to make my own.
Oh, absolutely. This is great. And that's why I love Strolo U and all the awesome people that we have given so much wonderful information. You can always, as well, if you have my contact info, email me if you have some questions. Again, I'm not a rep for doTERRA, but like I said, if you're buying oils, make sure they're food grade. Spinning back to what I was saying earlier about making sure I can eat what I make, because I love to be in the kitchen. I have tried with the coconut oil and the brown sugar, because I do very different types of teas, not just like water and leaves. So with coconut oil, of course, you would put sugar in a tea. It's kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's like a no-brainer. I can have my scrub and it can also be my sweetener, because coconut oil, a lot of people use it for other things as well. When it comes to like cooking, moisturizing, they have coconut oil butters for spreading on food. But for me, with a peppermint tea, it is great for the digestive system. So I could take a scoop of my scrub and put it in my tea. So it has double usage. It depends what you put into it, of course. I would not do that if I was going to use my grapeseed oil. I would do that, my coconut oil. Again, with the other types of oil, that's also something to consider. Of course, if you have nut allergy, you wouldn't use an almond oil, but it may be useful for something else. I don't have one particularly, but I know people have varying degrees of their reaction. So that's something to be mindful about.
So yeah, like I said, I love I love stuff like this. I love just all scrubs. You guys, my sister, I probably have too many. And I have dabbled in like trying to make my own and stuff like that. So this is like, and it's such a great self-care option, just to, especially after a nice relaxing bath, which I recently had, just to, just use that scrub, and it's awesome. And you just like, it's just you time. Very, very into self-care. And when you was talking about having like the essential oils just to like, sniff when you're having, anxiety or any ailments like that, my sister actually brought me like the roller balls of the different essential oils, and I was like, oh wow, I have that. And like that's what I use it for. And like how there's certain ones like for headaches and stuff like that. So yes, I'm a big believer.
I recently
I have a point.
those, the empty ones, so that you can make your own.
Yep.
I've been looking into I use like a facial oil after I wash my face for like overnight, just for super hydration, and I'm almost out of the one that I bought once at like a farmer's market, and I'm like, I don't know what's in here. I want to recreate it. I do have like vitamin E oil, jojoba oil, coconut oil, I forget, there's another one, and then I have essential oils, and I'm like, I was just gonna look on Pinterest for just a random like facial like oil recipe. I don't know if you have any in mind that would work well.
I don't. I don't. That definitely is an experimental thing with me. Because the combination, I find that if it's not just right, it could make your skin more oily.
Oh, okay.
So there, even I read the back of everything, but sometimes, you know, there's things that they put in there that they don't put on the label or that's part of the chemical process. So I tend to just over the counter it. Some things I just don't mess with.
Oh, I have a question concerning what do you call it? Infusing oils with like, you know, different things like I have like this rose oil. They actually put like petals of like roses in it. But I wonder if you know anything about like, you know, what like how to like infuse like oil with like other things.
Well, I'm gonna say the layman's way, and it's the way I do it, which is making sure that whether it be a dried or fresh herb, that you're using the right type of oil that's gonna extract whatever it is you want from it, or because you can have an oil that will extract aroma. You can have one that will extract the medicinal properties and may not smell so great. So you just have to make sure that combination is right. And then there's a matter of how long it should steep before you use it, which is usually 8 weeks to a couple of months. Well, that's still a couple of months, but maybe even longer, depending on what it is, because some things just take longer than others. I've experimented with that as well. I've tried the rose oil. In the past, I've had, me and my aunt actually boiled roses, the petals, and extracted it that way and then added the carrier oil. I've also done it where we just let it sit in one of the carrier oils for an amount of time. I found that there was a slight improvement with that. With the boiling, of course, you lose some of the properties of whatever you're boiling. So it's kind of like what you get out of it. With the boiling, I found the smell was amazing. But with the steeping, ew. It was very moist. It was very nice and smooth, the oil, but I did not like the smell. It just smelled woody and like dirt.
Okay, thank you.
Also with the when you're using, I just forgot to mention the sugar scrub. If any of the oils you're using are okay for ingesting or you don't have any issues with it, a very fine brown sugar with your oil makes a great lip scrub. When those lips are chapped in the winter, great. And then you can just lick it off and keep moving.
Yeah, that I've done. Yeah, the lip scrubs, those are like my favorite.
And you can get crazy with those and flavor it too.
That's true. What you were saying before with using the scrub or the sugar scrubs as a sweetener, also, I've done that before. I had a friend who she, you know, she'll make me, was it tea or coffee? I feel like I had it in coffee first.
Nice.
But yeah, and she's like, are you allergic to coconut oil or anything? I was like, no, go ahead. I was like, surprise me, do whatever you want. And she had added coconut oil, and I was like, oh, that's different. Like, I wouldn't think to put that in, you know, as a sweetener, as a natural sweetener into my drinks like that. And it was so good. And it made it like so smooth and just, I was like, you're onto something. So I thought it was cool that you like brought that up. It just like,
That's a nice.
I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot I used to drink that.
That's like a nice vegan alternative for like the people that like, you know, either do like, you know, fasting or like, you know, intermediate fastings or just trying to like, you know, to eat healthier but still have their like, you know, their creature comforts. Like that seems like a very good alternative to using like dairy products, putting coconut oil.
But like I said, I don't know about anyone else, but it's great for the digestive system, but don't take too much.
Mhm.
Some people are sensitive to it. I'm just putting that out there because I've seen people who use a lot, and especially if the drink is not very hot, so it starts to solidify a little bit.
No, thank you.
Yeah, they're going into the bathroom.
Yeah, just a
Especially
pinch.
on top of coffee.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I guess like the rule of thumb is anytime you trying something, only use a little bit if you're trying it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't get the big spoon.
Mm-mm. I wouldn't do that. Like especially if you like you're not used to having like that coconut flavor. Like that's something like not everybody likes coconut. So like you gotta take a little bit at a time, try it out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just thinking about it, like you can, of course, depending on where you store your containers, it's always a 2-for-1. I can cook with it. I can, scrub with it. You always have, I guess you would have to make sure you have enough to stretch for both, but it'll always be available in some way, shape, or form. Like on hand instantly, pop it in the tea. Or if it's like a salt scrub, I don't know, spread it on the fish, throw it in the oven.
These are great ideas.
I'm taking notes.
I have seen a few as well. I've never tried them, but has anyone ever tried a coffee scrub?
Yes.
Yes.
Tell me about it. How was it?
The aroma is amazing, first of all. Like, I just love like the smell, and like it really like wakes up your skin. I don't know if that's just like the properties of the caffeine or just it being psychosomatic, but like I feel like it really like, just wakes up your skin, and it's just like, you have like a really nice hot shower going afterwards, and you just let it just like melt off of you, and it's just like you got that burst of coffee, and just like, the oils are just like, it's like it's in you now, and it's just like it's like really like relaxing, and I think it's like good for like, just I don't know, it just like wakes you up a bit.
You just transported me to another world, Jennifer. Your descriptions, I want it now. I want to try it.
Yeah, definitely. And I like it because it's not too coarse. It's perfect. It's just right. And the way your skin feels, I can't like it's nice and
It's like a
soft.
spa treatment.
Yes, definitely. Definitely a nice spa.
We're using the coffee.
Hmm. And I find that with like, like the sugar scrubs in general, like when you have like a really good one, like it doesn't leave you feeling like messy. Like it just like after you like have like a good scrub, and like once you wash it off, like how it just like, just like revitalizes the skin, making it feel like smooth and baby soft, and it just feels hydrated afterwards. Like, I tried cheap scrubs too, and they just feel a little gross afterwards. It's just like, nope, need it off. So there is a difference. Or like it's just like a little bit too viscous, and it's just like, ugh, it just feels gross a little bit. And you just it's like, oh, that was a waste of time. So don't buy the cheap ones. Like, spend a little extra, get the good ones. And like, because it leaves you like it just leaves you feeling like soft and tender. Like, it's like silky. It's like afterwards you don't need lotion. Like, you're good.
Yes.
Set.
Yeah. Those are my favorite. When I often get that feeling when I do a mix of the oils, and sometimes maybe a little bit of one of my favorite body washes. I put a little of that in there and mix it all up. Yeah, that's when I feel like that. And it's just like from shower to bed.
Yeah.
Light up the clothes and go to bed because everything I'm taken care of.
Yeah, it's the best. Now
Guys,
everybody's gonna be scrubbing tonight.
Yeah, I might have to come over and take your stuff.
I know she's got a stash over there.
Mm-hmm.
Oils, roll-ons.
Little everything.
Yeah, she got the facial mask, everything. It's a mini
Oh,
spa in her house.
Spa day.
That's right.
Spa day.
I'll send you
Set
the
it up,
address.
Tiffany. Set it up. Spa
Yes.
day.
Yes. Come on down.
Mm-hmm. No,
You
I
know where I'm
literally
at.
go to her house just to vacation. Like,
Yeah. She uses my house as like an Airbnb, but for another discussion. But yes, oh, we should have a spa day. That would be really fun. Ooh, let's set it up.
Yes.
I'm down. I have some really good like face mask recipes and stuff. So yes, I'm down.
and she got the aromatherapy and, you know, like soothing music, the candles. I don't know how everybody feels about candles, but I love it. And you just have like a wonderful bath. You got because you have the face mask, the cooling gel. She got a feet mask, all that.
Jesus,
Stuff for your
Jennifer,
hands,
we are
head to
Today.
toe.
What day are we
Head
doing
to
this?
toe.
Let me put it on my calendar.
Thanks, Jenny.
You're welcome.
Oh goodness, this was amazing. Like, this was definitely positivity. And now everybody's aware of my ridiculous like routine of stuff and my obsession with self-care. So thank you, Jennifer. And thank you,
welcome.
Annette, for spilling the beans. But I just want to thank you again for teaching us this class. I always love your classes. You know, I think they're good. They're really good. And Annette will be teaching us again on Saturday with
Kids Corner.
a storytelling class, which I'm excited for. And it's called Kids Corner. So please join us. And let's see, anything else? Anybody have any questions or comments? Would you like to plug yourself with anything that you're working on now?
Well, right now I am working on setting up my website for Aurora, and I'm going to have my children's book series on there, Nana Said, as well as Soulful Journey, which is available on Amazon. And if you guys know me, I love doing cosplay and making costumes. So if you're ever interested in that, or you want something made, you have an inspiration that you want to see come to life, hit me up at aurora.info@gmail.com.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This was cool.
Yes, I definitely enjoyed it. Thank you everyone for joining us for Strolo U, and continue to watch us. We have another class tomorrow with, let's have this up. I think tomorrow's class is healthcare it's a healthcare provider class, and I'm pretty sure it's with Meg Hall. So I think she's going to be teaching us a dance class.
Yes.
So join us. It should be awesome.
Yes.
I'm excited.
I'm ready to dance with my 2 left feet.
So everyone, get your scrubs together, scrub it on down, and then come back and dance with us.
Yes.
All right. So I would like to thank give me 1 second. Just want to share the screen real quick. Thank you to our sponsor, Kiesi. We appreciate everything you do for us and helping us to keep Strolo U going. And I would like to thank everyone who is watching us and participating and donating. We appreciate it. And just know that everything that you donate is going towards helping people with CF. So I hope everyone enjoys their night, and we will see you next time.
Thank you,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye. Thank you.